Karen from EdibleWildFood.com here. Today's video, all about the cattail. Stay tuned. Ethnobotanically speaking, it is difficult to find any other plant species that has as many uses for humans as cattails. For starters, nearly every part of this plant is edible, from the rhizomes, which I'm not going to get today, all the way to the seed head. The rhizomes can actually be consumed year-round, but they're best in the autumn and early spring. So many uses for them. I'm going to have some links in the description below, one of which is to a video I did, including many recipes. In the book of Swamp and Bog, author John Eastman wrote about the abundance of seeds. Apparently, there's an estimated 220,000 seeds per spike. That's impressive. And of course, that's not until later in the season when the female part of the spike has become bushy, brown, and many people refer to it like a corn dog. In her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, Robin Wall Kimmerer discusses this well-known association that cattails have. Cattails grow in nearly all types of wetlands, wherever there is adequate sun, plentiful nutrients, and soggy ground. Midway between land and water, freshwater marshes are among the most highly productive ecosystems on Earth, rivaling the tropical rainforest. People valued the supermarket of the swamp for the cattails, but also as a rich source of fish and game. And there are fish here, just hard to see sometimes. Waterfowl nest here in the safety of the dense sward, and migratory birds seek out cattail marshes for their sanctuary on their journeys. The island Salish, cattails were considered probably the most important basket and mat weaving material. They would make baskets, bags, clothing, twine, cradles, nets, canoe sails, and they would use these leaves and weave them. Cattail weavings would also be used as clothing, such as robes, cloaks, hats, headdresses. Among the Saanich of Vancouver Island, cattail charcoal was used for tattooing, which was a practice that was reserved for the wealthy. Tattooing and face and body painting were also practiced by the interior Salish. The Songhees of the Saanich on Vancouver Island offered a mixture of burned cattail root with red paint, which inevitably was berries. And they used it in the first salmon rites. These rites were rituals that they did every year to ensure respect for the salmon and to promote a sustainable relationship with them. There is a plethora of information of the West Coast First Nations, which I'm going to link to in the June 2001 issue of the Journal of Ethnobiology. It is really interesting. I just found a nice little stand of watercress that's starting to grow. As far as cattails go, though, these are incredibly common throughout the entire northern hemisphere. That's impressive. And can you imagine the size of the book if we could compile all the information of the uses of the cattail that have been used by people throughout the northern hemisphere over the hundreds of years? I'm going to gather some of the cattail flower heads because I want to show you a close-up. Much better done when I'm at home than out here in my kayak. And I'll put that little segment at the end of the video. As I've been gathering some cattails to take home, I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you. Look at the root system on that. Let me just look at that. There. Quite heavy too, I must say. Now, that's just from one small seed head to get that pollen. Can you imagine how long you'd have to be out here gathering this in order to get enough to make bread? Leland Marsh, who headed the Cattail Research Center at Syracuse University, found that he could harvest 140 tons of rhizomes per acre. Can you imagine? That's 10 times the yield of potatoes. Earlier, I mentioned that these are in the northern hemisphere, and I neglected to say that they are also in the southern hemisphere. In fact, throughout history, those in Peru and Venezuela and other countries, the Zulu in Africa, the Maori in New Zealand, all have taken advantage of what these wetland plants can give us. So this is going to end the outdoor part of my video. I'm going to head back home shortly, and that way I can show you the close-up of the male and female flower spikes. And if you want to learn more about the uses of cattails in terms of culinary uses, please check out the link below. But keep watching if you want to see those close-ups. What you're looking at is the inside of the male and female flower spike. The male is on the left, female on the right. And over here is the complete picture of the male and female side by side. The female is the part that turns brown. There's the division between the female and the male. And this is the male, which is the top part. Once the male flower has released all the pollen, it starts to die off. which allows the plant to continue its process of seed production, which is done down here for future plants. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, share in your social media, and if you're new to my channel, please do me the kindness and consider subscribing. Thank you.